The conference room door swung open mid-meeting, and in walked a stranger in a cheap suit, clutching a manila envelope like it was a grenade. "Mr. Daniel Hargrove," he said, his voice cutting through the hum of projectors and colleague chatter. Heads turned, whispers rippled. I froze, my pen hovering over a spreadsheet. He slapped the papers on the table. Divorce petition, bold letters screaming adultery, irreconcilable differences. My wife's name, Elena, typed neatly at the top. But as he turned to leave, I reached into my briefcase and pulled out my own envelope. "Wait," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Give this to her lawyer. It's for the court." His eyes widened as he took it. Little did he know, that envelope held the truth that would shatter her world, just as she'd shattered mine. It started innocently enough, or so I told myself. Elena and I had been married for 12 years. High school sweethearts who built a life in the suburbs, with a cozy house, 2 kids, and weekends filled with soccer games and barbecues. But lately she'd been distant. "Work's crazy," she'd say, pecking my cheek before vanishing into her home office. I'd nod, ignoring the late nights, the new perfume that smelled like someone else's choice. Denial is a warm blanket, isn't it? It wraps you up until the cold truth seeps in. One evening, I came home early from a business trip, hoping to surprise her. The house was quiet, kids at my sister's. I heard laughter from the kitchen. Hers light and flirtatious, the kind I hadn't heard in months. Peeking around the corner, I saw her on the phone, twirling her hair. "I can't wait to see you again, Mark," she whispered. Mark. My best friend from college, the one who'd just moved back to town? My stomach twisted. She hung up, spotted me, and her face paled. "Oh, Dan. You're home early." That was a client. I forced a smile, hugged her, but that night, as she slept beside me, suspicion gnawed like a rat in the walls. The clues piled up slowly, each one a splinter under my skin. Her phone buzzed at odd hours, she'd snatch it away, claiming spam. Receipts for lunches at fancy spots I'd never heard of. A hotel keycard slipped from her purse one laundry day. "Must be from that conference last month," she said, laughing it off. I wanted to believe her. God, I did. Our life wasn't perfect. Arguments about money, my long hours at the firm, but we'd always come back to each other. Or so I thought. Heartbreak isn't a sudden crack. It's a slow fracture, spreading until everything shatters. I started digging, hating myself for it. First, her email, logged in on the family computer, forgotten. Messages from Mark, innocuous at first. "Miss our talks." Then bolder. "Last night was incredible. When can we meet again?" Attachments. Photos of them at a beach, her head on his shoulder. My hands shook as I printed them. The printer's whine echoing my denial, turning to anger. How long? Why him? Mark, who'd stood as my best man, toasting our forever. The betrayal burned, a fire in my chest that spread to every memory. Our wedding vows, whispered under oak trees, lies now. But I played it cool, gathering more. Hired a private investigator on a whim, maxing out a credit card. Reports came in. Dinners, hotel stays, even a weekend getaway while I thought she was visiting her mom. Photos of stolen kisses in parking lots. Each one punched the air from my lungs. Suspense built in the silence between us. Me watching her laugh at dinner, wondering if she felt guilty. "You okay, babe?" she'd ask, touching my arm. "Yeah, just tired." I'd lie, the trust crumbling like sand. Anger simmered, but so did the pain. Nights alone in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, replaying our life. The day our son was born, her hand squeezing mine. Vacations where we'd dance under stars. Was it all fake? I confronted her once vaguely. "Is there someone else?" She teared up, denied it vehemently. "How could you even think that? I love you." Her eyes, those green eyes I'd fallen for, pleaded innocence. For a moment I wavered. Maybe I was wrong, but the evidence screamed otherwise. The kids noticed the tension. "Why are you and Mom fighting?" Little Emma asked one morning, her big eyes wide. I hugged her, swallowing the lump in my throat. "Grown-up stuff, sweetie. It'll be okay." But it wouldn't. Elena's betrayal wasn't just against me. It poisoned our family. I compiled everything. Emails, photos, hotel bills, even bank statements showing gifts I'd never received. Stuffed it all in that envelope, labeled for her lawyer. Revenge? Maybe. Justice? Definitely. The divorce papers hit like a freight train, served at work to humiliate me. But I was ready. In court weeks later, the room buzzed with sterile tension, wooden benches echoing footsteps. Elena sat across from me, avoiding my gaze, Mark nowhere in sight but his shadow looming. Her lawyer painted me as the villain, absentee husband, emotionally distant. My client seeks full custody and alimony, he droned. Then my turn. My attorney stood, calm as a lake. Your Honor, we have evidence of Mrs. Hargrove's infidelity. He slid the envelope across the bench. Photos spilled out. Elena and Mark, timestamps matching her work trips. Emails detailing their affair, plans to run off after bleeding me dry. The judge's eyebrows shot up. Elena gasped, her face crumpling. Dan, how could you? She whispered, tears streaming. How could I? I shot back, voice cracking for the first time. You destroyed us. The courtroom blurred as anger gave way to raw heartbreak. Her motivations tumbled out in her desperate defense. Feeling neglected, Mark's attention filling the void. Understandable? In some twisted way, yes, we'd grown apart. But betrayal? Unforgivable. The judge ruled in my favor. Joint custody, no alimony, her case in tatters. As I walked out, the weight lifted, but the scars remained. Elena approached sobbing. I'm sorry. I never meant. I shook my head. Sorry doesn't rebuild trust. We parted ways, the envelope's contents echoing in my mind. Months later, alone in my house, I reflect. Betrayal reshapes you, teaches caution. But it also reminds you of love's fragility. I hug the kids tighter now, rebuild step by step. Elena? She's with Mark, or so I hear. Me. I'm healing one day at a time. Trust may collapse, but from the ruins, you rise, wiser, stronger, forever changed.